all are sick of hearing from me. For the record-keeping purposes, I will introduce myself again. My name is Misty Shaw, and I'm a Wood River resident that has 4 children go through Roxana School District, 2 of whom have graduated, 1 currently at Roxana Junior High and the other currently at Central Elementary. I am missing my daughter's volleyball game next door to be here because I feel that this is the utmost importance. I am here once again to speak on the unlawful masking of our children. I have come to realize over the past 2.5 years, if you don't hold a law degree or a PhD behind your name, people seem to think you're not fit to speak on this issue. I have neither. However, I can read, and I do understand the Constitution of the United States of America. I have been saying that this is a government overreach and shouldn't be happening to our kids, and thankfully, this was finally proven in a court of law. Our kids have been subjected to unhealthy face coverings for 696 days. 696. This is unfathomable to me, as it should be to you all as well. Back in August, your attorney misled and misinformed you. You backed down on your original plan and put my kids along with everyone else's in another year of hell, with masking them for 7+ hours a day, masking during sports, unnecessary and excessive COVID testing, excluding them from school over contact tracing, etc. As a board and administrators, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. Mrs. Kreitschreiger, you especially. I sat here and watched as you coerced the board into opposing your will. Your words, and I quote, "This is just a formality. You know what has to be done. We just have to do it." I could tell the board was uncomfortable in doing so, but cowardly, one by one, each one of you backed down, too afraid to stand up for our kids. You all had the chance to do right by our kids and failed. Why? Because your attorney threatened that the ISB may put our district on suspension or probation. All districts that they tried this with, they failed. It was proven that it was unlawful to do so. Again, you were threatened that the IHSA would pull our recognition if we weren't mask compliant. And yet again, this was an empty threat, proven unlawful to do so. Mr. DeVore offered pro bono to represent any districts that were willing to stand up against these claims, and our district folded and put money before our kids. What absolutely sickens me is that I've seen several of you up there out in public, more precisely at school sporting events to which you were unmasked. And as much as I support that because I too was also unmasked, it filled me with fire to know that you voted in favor of masking my girls ages 13 and 9 for 7 hours a day, but you yourself were unwilling to put that muzzle on your face at a 1-hour-long sporting event. But here these kids are sprinting up and down a basketball court, running around a volleyball court, struggling to breathe. The discrimination our unvaccinated students and staff has been unlawful and despicable. My student was part of a 6-man basketball team, half vaxxed, half unvaxxed. When there were exposures, my child was excluded or excessively tested for COVID, even though she was displaying no symptoms. The treatment these teachers have also felt from the administration and fellow staff has been unreal. It is almost as though you want to make it so miserable for them to be unvaccinated that they have no choice but to succumb to the jab or else. My 8th grader was told today by administration that she needed to wear a mask today, but would be okay not wearing one tomorrow. I have so many issues with this statement. I will just give you my top 2. First off, this proves this was never a safety issue. COVID is not disappearing tomorrow. This is and always has been about control. Secondly, how do our administrators so confidently know how the board is voting? This is the kind of collusion that is extremely alarming to me, as it should be to every parent in this district. Who is in control here? You as a board are public servants elected to represent the parents and students of this district. With all due respect, you do not work for Mrs. Kreitschreiger. She works for us. These roles seem to be alarmingly out of place. Judge Grishhouse said it best. This type of evil is exactly what the law was intended to constrain, and what has been done to these kids is evil. Yep. The classes of 2020 and 2021 will never get their senior years back. These younger kids will never have another first day of school. What has been lost can never be regained. I ask that each one of you publicly admit that you were wrong and offer an apology to each one of these kids and their families that have been pawns of this state for 696 days. And I believe this is a vital step going forward and will hopefully repair the trust and respect that has been fractured over the past 2.5 years. Thank you.
Good job, Will.